Hello and welcome to CYU6, Propaganda Techniques. It is said that propaganda consists of the planned use of any form of public or mass-produced communication designed to affect the minds and emotions of a given group for a specific purpose, whether military, economic, or political. So what are these mysterious forces at work? These are propaganda techniques. They are methods that are not based in fact, that are used to make arguments more persuasive. Critical readers need to watch out for them, whether they were used on purpose or by accident. The first form of propaganda is an appeal to ignorance. This is suggesting that if no one has ever proved a claim to be false, well, then it's gotta be true. For example, scientists can't prove that there's no life on Mars, can they? That's the argument that's saying, well, you can't prove it's not true, so it's got to be true. Sort of like innocent until proven guilty. Next is the bandwagon technique, suggesting that since everyone else does it or believes it, it must be right or good. For example, if everyone is skipping school that day, it's okay for me to do it too. This is the, if all your friends jumped off a cliff, would you? It's not always a good idea just because everyone else is doing it. Broad generalization, making a broad statement that something is true about all members of a group. For example, in every marriage, the wife cooks the dinner. This is kind of like making stereotypes. Circular thinking, beginning with the very point that you're trying to prove. You could say, for example, this is a boring class because it's not interesting. Well, you just kind of talked yourself in a circle there. What about it is boring? What about it is not interesting? It's sort of like using, when you're trying to define a word, using that word itself in the definition. Either or. This is when you analyze a complex situation as if it only has two sides. This is when people are being very black and white about something when you know that there's a lot of gray area. For example, either we upgrade the computer network in this school or we doom our students to failure in the world of technology. I'm sure there are some smaller steps that can be taken. We don't have to do the whole thing all at once. Loaded words. This is when you use emotionally charged words that produce strong positive or negative feelings. For example, it is our patriotic duty to elect officials that will lead us to prosperity and success. Words like patriotic, prosperity, and success. These are loaded words. When you hear them, you react a certain way, whether it's strongly, in a positive or a negative way. It's getting a response out of you. And then there's oversimplification. This is making complicated issues or problems seem overly simple or just easy to solve. This is a sort of like a form of sarcasm with your argument. For example, find x. There it is. You know darn well that's not what it means. It's oversimplification. So which do you think works the best? I want you to think about it. You're going to be answering some questions based on these propaganda techniques in just a moment. Let's talk about current propaganda. Recently, it's been theorized that Russia hacked the US 2016 election. Well, whether that's true or not, that word hacked is absolutely a loaded word. What about the phrase, your vote counts? Is that a bandwagon propaganda? Everyone's voting. You need to vote. Your vote counts too. What about surveillance, data collection, and data retention programs are only in place to keep you safe and protect you against terrorism? That's sort of like an either or. It's a black and white issue. They're claiming that there's no gray area. I'm sure that surveillance and data collection and retention are in place for many, many reasons, not just to protect you against terrorism. Russia, North Korea, Syria, and Iran, and Muslims in general, are the enemy. That is a broad generalization. Of course, there are bad groups of people amongst all cultures. In conclusion, you should be on your toes, and you will overcome all of the propaganda. As long as you are determined to find the truth, to keep digging, keep reading, keep exploring, and keep demanding satisfactory answers, the lie of the propaganda will reach its expiration date. It can never be as powerful as the truth. Let's practice a little bit. Here's a Starbucks coffee, the best coffee for the best you. I'm not going to say it's an appeal to ignorance. It's not really bandwagon. It's kind of circular thinking. The best coffee for the best you. We're all the best. The best, the best, the best. It's just a circular thinking. I'm loving it. That's absolutely bandwagon. Everyone loves McDonald's. You love McDonald's too. Walmart. Save money. Live better. Well, that's sort of like an oversimplification. There's a lot of things that go into living better. It's not just saving money. So, is it okay to alter the truth in an effort to be persuasive? What do you think? I'm going to go with no. The value of the truth trumps all. So, are you confident in identifying propaganda techniques? You're going to let me know by answering the questions below this video.